Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. So we're doing a setup, play and review and solo playthrough for the game Turing Machine, the punch card computer. Now this has been designed by Fabian Gradel and Johan Levet. It's by Scorpion Masque. And as you can see, here is everything inside the box that we're going to need. I've already been playing some of these missions, so we're going to play a brand new mission. We're playing mission 4 today. And there are difficulties at different levels you can play as and at. You will need to construct this initially, which isn't too difficult, but make sure you have 5 at the back and 1 to the front, just to make it easier. You'll also have a little baggie, which you can separate and put stuff into. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it can be a bit fiddly, and actually the insert could be improved upon. And as you can tell, it's a little bit of a setup, but including actually setting up and playing the game, it's achievable in under 20 minutes. So, it's a 1 to 4 player game. I must admit, even though it says there's a solo mode and a cooperative mode, there's no difference. So from a review perspective, there's nothing original in doing so, and it is recommended pretty much as a solo experience. And it's a game very much like the game Mastermind from the early 80s. That game I think is by Milton Bradley, MB, and yeah, I highly enjoy that game, highly rate it. Very clever. This is very clever. It's a lot more nuanced, more sophisticated, but also more convoluted, and that is something to bear in mind. So inside here, it's got about layout. It's also going to tell us what we're going to need for a certain mission. So I'll talk to you about that in a moment, but let's talk about which mission we're going to need. So there are a deck of these various cards here. Again, they are quite tricky to get out of the box, so I won't get them out unless I need to. But I'm looking in this case, I need card number 4. So we're doing number 4 here. So you're going to go through this deck and find the relevant one with a pen we're going to use in a moment. Whilst I'm setting this up, please ensure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and of course that like and share to support the channel. So we're getting card 3 out, and again from this height hopefully everything's visible. I want to get everything on the table. Getting card 8, I'm going to get card 15 in this instance. And these are called verifier cards. These are things that we're going to use that we're going to ask the machine, because we're not asking each other, we're asking the machine how on earth we are doing what we are doing. Again, these need to go back away, so each time you play this you do need to sort your cards. So everything goes back in the box. Those are no longer needed. We've also got, in this case, there's another spare 5 cards. There's 4 of each, potentially. So a few of each that if you need to, just wait for somebody else. You need this card here. You're going to need a player sort of shield, but again, playing it solo, you won't need one. Then that can go away as well. And lastly, we need to figure out what cards we need. So through this deck, we have got purple cards. So we are looking for A. So coming off the A position. In these first few games, you will not need the harder ones, which is E and F, so we can actually scribble them out if you want to. So you can put a line through that, and down there, you write down our name, so write Simon, write down the answer, and you can actually write like Simon Allen for Alan Turing. So Alan Turing was a British mathematician who was very integral to the World War II effort to do with the Enigma machine which the enemy had. So we do that, then we get the next card out, which is 790, so that's this card. That's the second card we need. 404, again just for the purples we're looking up. This could have been sorted out in advance, but I just thought it was helpful to go through it. And yes, this will be going in the How to Set Up Play and Review video playlist, also in the AmassGames playlist, the Family Note playlist, amongst many others. So those are all taken care of, those can go back in the box. Now remember, this is A at the front, that's what this pen is for, these are wipeable boards. So you have A, B, C, and D. So you need to orientate these so you can see them, or anyone else can as well. So right now we're going to take the A card, just double check, it's 662, it is 662, and it's going to go next to the A section. So flip this over, and this is going to be underneath here. So that's what that's going to work with. Then we have the B card, so you can just double check, 790, and it's going to the B slot, and I'll put that in a second. We've then got the C card, which is going to go over here. We'll reorientate this in a second. So that's going to be C, and lastly D for 509. And then lastly, we've got to get all these cards. So we have the 3. So 3 was for A. So this is telling us that there's a certain question to be asked. So we'll look at that in a second. The verifier, that the 3 number that you're trying to find, the yellow number, is it less than 3 compared to us, equal to 3 or more than 3? We have the 8 card, which the verifier in this case is saying that the number of 1s in the code, how many? Do we have 0s? Do we have 1? Do we have 2? Do we have 3? We next up have this verifier card, which is saying the colours number is larger than the others. So I'll show you how I'm going to write this in a second, but that's just going to go there. And lastly, we have D, which in this case, the number of even numbers compared to the number of odd numbers. So in this case, are they greater than or other way around? Because there's going to be 3 numbers, it's going to be one or the other. So that goes there, and let's just check on the framing of this to make sure everything fits in okay. So actually, pretty good. Let's move over slightly, and then let's look at what I'm going to have a guess first time around for what I think it is. Just like Mastermind, you know, you don't know, you're not going to know, you're going to answer stuff, give it questions. So you have 3 attempts, 3 questions you're going to ask. There's 4 options presently. You're going to be asking it 3 times, and they're going to figure it out from there. So it comes with a number of puzzles, comes with 20, tells you about the luck factor, so there is some luck going in as to what on earth you might give it. And then of course that becomes more and more obviously strategic as the game goes on. So let's think about what we could ask it. Could be any old thing. At this point you can choose whatever you want. So we'll need your own pen. We could use a pen provided, but again that's quite a thick felt. So we could have something greater or equal to 3. How many ones? Let's go with that. That's 1, 1. Do we think the blue number is smaller? So it's right over here. And are they more even than odd? So let's go with yellow is smaller than 3. So let's write that in as being a 2. We're going to have, are there more even than odd? Well, let's hope that so there's more of them. Let's hope there's 1, 1. So triangle, let's write 1 triangle, and then there'll be 2 of those. So now what we're doing is questioning it. So this is a first round, so everybody at the same time will be writing down whatever they want to do behind their shield and taking from these. If there's someone else has taken them, you're going to wait and let someone else do it. So you grab what you need from here. So we're grabbing a triangle blue 1. We're getting a square 2, and we're getting a circular 2, again representing the colours of what they are. So arrange them as you have them. So 1, then 2, then 3, and in this instance I think Turing is visible, but let's just move over here so it's a bit more fancy. There we go. And let's now try and clue this in. So let's see if our yellow number comparatively is going to go under. Let's make sure there's a hole through to the back. And it's wrong. So this means that the yellow number is not lower than 3. So now what we're going to do is write an X in here to show that's wrong. And if you want to in here, write something. So in this case, I'm going to write yellow is not 2 or 1. I'm going to go again. So in this case, let's see if there is 1, 1. There is not 1, 1. So again, you can write something in box B. So not 1, 1. Lastly, let's see if blue is the lowest number, let's say. So grab the thing, have a look. It's an X, so it's incorrect, which means blue, again for C, another X, so 3 X's. Blue, not lowest. Then you put these all back and you're going to go to round 2. So far, I always managed to get it in 3 guesses, potentially. Let's chuck these in and think about what we've seen. So there's not 1, 1, so maybe there's more than 1, 1, maybe there's 2 1s. Let's try something different. So we're going to try a higher number. So let's try a 3. We know that the yellows, there's a high amount of yellows. Let's try a 4. And let's try 2. Okay, so we're keeping one number the same, swapping some things around. Grab the stuff, so we're going to grab a blue triangle 3, a square, that's 4, 4, and again a purple 2. Let's try again and see if the square is correct. It is, so we now know it's a 4 or a 5. So now we know something, so we can do a tick for that one. So now it's 4 or 5. Now that can go away. Shouldn't need to go there again, but sometimes guessing 3 times we might have to. These stay out. Let's see if there are 0 1s. There are 0 1s, so another tick. So we can get rid of the 1s for this. So 0 1s. 0 1s, now that can go away. And let's do what we want to do next. Do we want to think this is the lowest number? So let's see if purple is the lowest number, let's say. So look at here again, purple is not the lowest number. So now we know that in this instance that yellow is the lowest number. So we can write an X, purple or circle, it's up to you, is not the lowest. Not lowest. Okay, so we're going to put that away. Now we're going to the 3rd attempt. So put them away again. So I know it's a 4 or a 5. I know that yellow must be the smallest number. So in this case, I think it's a 4, 5, 5. So now I'm going to get, or 5, 4, 5. So we're going to get a 5, then the yellow 4 behind it, and then the purple 5. Let's then check over here. And I'm hoping that there's one even number, or one odd number. So 5, 4, 5 is showing that there's a correct thing going on there. So there are more even numbers, number of even numbers compared to the number of odd numbers. So are there more? Apparently seems to be saying there's more even numbers. So that's interesting. So we've got a tick though. So more even than odd. We know that that's not the lowest. We know that the yellow must be the lowest. So maybe it's the joint lowest. Purple is larger. Oh, it's larger. I misread it round. Okay, so I misread that. So there we go. Interesting. So we now know there are more evens. So it's probably one of the other ones is a 5. So we know that blue wasn't the largest. We know that yellow wasn't one of the largest. So it's the purple, I think, is the largest. So it's not, blue isn't the greatest, and we know that purple, so we now know that 5, that should be a 5. Okay, never mind. Okay, so that's that done. I think it's all going to be fine. We know this is correct. And what else have we done? Did we do this one? I need to do this one, I think. So yeah, we know that's a tick. So we know that there are two even, there's more even than odd. Even greater than odd. Oh, hang on. So there's more odd than even. Let's double check this one. Okay, that's incorrect. So that's an X. And what's next? So purple. So I think yellow is the largest, so that's why I misread that. And let's just check here. And that is confirming that what we already knew. So this can go away onto round 4, but I'm going to take it around 3 in this instance because I misread the card. Might mess over completely now. So I think 5 is the largest, so I think yellow is a 5. I think that isn't the largest, so I think that's a 4. And I think yellow is larger, so in this case it might be that. But that might be wrong because there's more even than odd. But let's give it a go, just see what it does. 4, 5, oops, the wrong side. 4 at the back. Is that the right way? 4, hang on, that's wrong again. Trouble with filming. 4, 5, 4. Okay, so this should definitely be a true. And that's not right either. So somewhere I messed up, but it was. Yellow is larger, okay, so it seems like one of them is only going to be true. So anyway, let's write it in. So undo it. Let's check out this one. Maybe I haven't done purple largest yet, then that's why. Okay, so that's now incorrect. So it's definitely 2 odd numbers. And then we can just check over here that that's still correct, which it is. So that was me doubling it. So this is my proper third attempt, which is purple is, and let's have a look. So this was, none of these were the largest, hence the error. This was the largest, and that's incorrect. That was the largest, and that's incorrect. It should be purple is the 5. But then I had a red, I'm sure for it. Purple, tick. Okay, purple 5. That's a 4 or a 5. And maybe it's 5, 4, 5. I did try that already. So maybe it's 5. Purple is larger than the yellow or blue. We know that yellow is correct. We know that yellow is a 4 or a 5. And 5 or 5 is incorrect. Apparently, although I did get an X on here. You can go back and check stuff. So, no, I don't think that's going to work. Could it be 555? Which number is larger than either of the others? So in this case, it must be only one of those examples. So you can double check the 545. Just to confirm that's incorrect. But that would be the case because it's not alone on itself. So I think 5 is definitely right. There's one even number, that's a 4, I see. And then the blue could be anything. So there are more even numbers, it's either 3 or 4. So this will confirm that purple is the largest. This confirms that there's 2 even numbers, odd numbers, which it does. And this confirms it's 0, 1. So either it's 3, 4, 5 or it's 1, 4, 5. I don't know if there's anything else that will confirm or deny that. Oh, there's 0, 1s, we know that. So the answer is 3, 4, 5. So that was me fluffing 2 rounds. So the answer is 3, 4, 5. So you write 3, 4, 5. You can just put things away. Then everybody is then at the end of each round, do that or this at the same time. Now we're going to compare if the answer is 3, 4, 5. And it is in fact 3, 4, 5. So there we go, and now I'm going to tell you a little bit what I think about the game, and then have another game. So, very interesting. As you can see, it has only taken a few minutes, 16 minutes including teach and set up and play. It is very enjoyable. It's very repetitive though, that is something to be aware of. Very clever, having all these crazy numbers and how they've algorithmically figured it out. Components are fine, like I said, a bit fiddly inserts. Enjoyable, quick, pass the time, not long. It's very accurate with 20 minutes. I think Mastermind's all you really need though. I think there's a lot going into this. The punch card's a great idea, very thematically in that respect. But I think I do prefer other deduction games. It's nice, for me at least, how you can write things down. Sometimes the ticks and pluses can be a bit confusing though. But aside from that, maybe consider this. Let me know in the comments, of course, on YouTube are best. And apart from that, check out the description in YouTube as well. You can support the channel via Patreon. There's over 2,750 posts to follow over on Instagram too. Plus there are occasionally competitions there as well as on Facebook, so follow there too. And lastly via Linktree, but they can be time sensitive, so keep checking back. For now, back to the table.